Hey everybody, this is Virginia Milner coming to you for the DeKalb County Library. And today we're going to make more earrings. The last earring tutorial I did got such, everybody apparently loved it anyway. So I thought, okay, well, we'll do some more earrings. And this is Pride Month. Every year I try to do something for Pride Month in the rainbow variety. So I'm going to do it again. And we're going to make several pairs of earrings that are very colorful and lots of fun. School is out, so I wanted something that's an easy project for kids of all ages, all and all styles. I mean, so you can, this is something that you can wear as a kid or you can wear as an adult. Everybody can really enjoy these. You do not have to use the beads that I'm using. I'm using seed beads because I could find every color in the Pride flag for our rainbow earrings, and it really comes out very vibrant. And because the theme of the library is Color My World, this is perfect. So we're going to do several pairs of, well, I'm going to do one earring, one's already done. We're going to do several earring styles, and you can pick and choose or do them all. All we need is seed beads for this, or again, any kind of bead that you would like. This is adaptable to pretty much any kind of bead that you want. I'd probably stick to 4 and 6 millimeter for one of them because it's got a spiral. It's made into a spiral, but the rest of them you can do with pretty much any size, depending on the outcome that you want. So we're going to need beads, 22 gauge wire. We're going to be making our own ear wires, so that's going to require 20 gauge wire. Those of you who get kits, you'll have two sizes of wire. The smaller size will be the 22 gauge that you make the body of the earrings themselves. The 20 gauge wire is slightly thicker, and that's what you're going to use to make your ear wires. You're going to need your usual tools, your round nose pliers. The barrels are round all the way around. They start a little bigger at the bottom and they taper off at the tip to almost a point. Then you're going to have your square nose pliers that are slightly rounded on the outside, but perfectly flat on the inside. And last but not least, you'll have your cutters that are wire cutters that you're going to use to do just that, cut your wire. You're also going to need a ruler to measure everything out and some kind of small cylindrical item just to use to make the shape of your ear wires when you make them and to wrap your this spherical one that we're going to do around. But that doesn't take any specific type of tool, just an ink pen or something like that. Beading a knitting needle, something like that, just some small long circular thing that you can use to wrap around. That is everything that we need today. So let's get down to the mat and get this started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is do a standard link. These are all in my rainbow colors. I've got my purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. You do not have to use these colors if you don't want to, but I wanted to stick with my pride flag. So that's what we're going to use today. Got my, oh my goodness, I didn't get my beads out. So I've got my little seed beads. Got them out here. Tons and tons. Seed beads. All right. Get out here, get out here, get out here. Okay. All right, so I'm going to grab the colors that I need. I need purple and blue and green and yellow and orange and red. Yeah. Okay. So those are my colors. I'm going to do links. I'm going to make a nice long dangle. Nice long dangle earring. There we go. So what I would suggest that you do is just, I've got about a little less than 12 inches of wire here. I would just keep it intact. It doesn't take very much for each of the links. I've got little scraps of wire that I'm going to be using. Each one of these links, since we're going to have two on a link, is going to take about 2.5 inches, each of the links, if you want that for your reference. But again, I would just take a long length of wire and use that. I'm going to use this little scrap. It's about 3 inches. So I'll use that up until I can't use it anymore. And then I'm going to switch to this, I think it's about 11-inch piece of wire, and do the rest of them. So what you're going to do is take your wire, give yourself about 3/4 of an inch, bend back about 3/4 of an inch away from the tip. Grab your round nose pliers, slide that short tail of wire about 1/3 of the way down your pliers, like so. And bring that tail over the top of your pliers and down the side until it meets the long tail of wire, like that, until they're both parallel. And then you're going to bring that wire under the pliers until it rests against both barrels. You don't want to wrap it around the barrels, both barrels, just the one barrel until you have a loop. Boom. Nice little loop there. So now I'm going to wrap this short tail around the long tail to close my loop up. So I'm going to grab my square pliers and just grasp the wire, grasp that loop right above where the wires cross over. Let's bring this down a little closer. Okay, and then wrap this short tail around the long tail just a couple of times. I don't need too many wraps, just enough to close it up so you can decide how many wraps you would like, how much silver you would like to see, or how much metal you would like to see. So I'm going to wrap it around 1.5 times. That should do it. Keep my wraps close together. There we go. I think I can take it around 2 times. Grab my pliers and bring it around 1 half wrap. Okay, then cut that little end off. And push that tip down against the rest of the wire. Right there under the other coils. Then I'm going to grab my first 2 beads, which are going to be the purple, followed by the blue. Then right here at the top, I'm going to give myself a tiny little bit of space so that I have some wrapping space, just like I had here. I'm going to bend my wire back, grab my round nose pliers, slide that tail of wire down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers, bring the wire over the top and down the side until it's parallel with the beads. Reposition my pliers out of the way and then bring that tail under the pliers and just over the beads, just like that. See if we can get this a little there, better. Then I'm going to grab my round nose pliers and I'm going to wrap this close. Now, you're going to be linking these together. So I can close this one and this one, but the one in the middle I'm going to use to link them all together. There. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this closed. It's like I did on the other side. A couple of wraps. That's 1. That's 2. Let's check. Yes, very nice. Let's cut that off. Not too much waste, and it was a scrap anyway, so I am happy. I'm always very careful because it's so easy to cut something other than what I want to cut. And then I have to start all over. I have cut the wrong place on the wire. Sometimes I've cut the loop. Makes me very unhappy when that happens. Push that little tail down. Don't want that sticking up, ready to snag on anything. But be very careful because these beads, well, the beads I'm using are glass. I don't want to risk possibility of cracking one of them because again, I would have to start over. I don't want to have to do that. Get down there. It's resisting. There we go. And I want both of my loops going the same direction. As you can see, they're not right now. So just going to grab one of them on each side, twist it until they're both going the same way. Yay! All right, so that's my first one. I'm going to grab this long one to finish it off. I have about 1.5 inches left. I had 3 inches, a little over 3 inches, and I've got about a little over an inch left. So I guess it takes only about 2 inches to do this, which is nice. It depends on the size beads that you're using. So again, I'm going to bend it right there, about 3/4 of an inch from the tip, slide my wire down about 1/3 of the way down the pliers, short tail in between the wire, in between the pliers, bring that wire around and down until it's parallel with the long wire. Turn my pliers until they're out of the way and bring that wire under my pliers until I have a loop. And that little thing should be sticking out at the side just like that. And so now I need to connect this with this one. And I want the purple on the bottom. So I'm going to connect this to the blue. So you decide how you want them to line up. But in recognition of the pride flag, I'm going to follow the colors properly because I have had people write to me and say, those aren't the right colors, or you've got them in the wrong order, something like that. And then I feel really bad. Like, I'm sorry, trying to do something, didn't do my research. My bad. All right, so I'm wrapping this around. There we go. Just need about 1.5 to 2 times. I'm going to, because that's what I did on the other one. Nice and close together. Cut that tail off. I think I need to cut just a tiny bit off of there before I can push the tip down. And I can't cut it with that. I don't think that'll work. Have my cutters and check to make sure nothing else is in the way. Snip that off. And push down that little end there that is threatening to catch on whatever gets in its path. Okay, push that down. Nice. And what's next? My next two are the green goes next to the blue. So the green and the yellow. Okay. Once again, I'm going to leave a tiny sliver of space between the yellow bead and the bend that I'm going to put in my wire. I want to bend it the same direction of my loop so that they end up going the same way. Grab my round nose pliers, slide that wire in between the prongs and down about 1/3 of the way down my pliers. Bring that tail of wire over the top of the pliers and down the side of the beads. Hold on to everything so it doesn't shift. Open up my pliers, reposition them, and bring that wire under the pliers, between the pliers and the bead until I have a loop. Yay! There we go. And then let's wrap it up. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness, I caught myself. Now, I can go ahead and wrap that up and then just use this one to attach it. Just don't forget to do that, Virginia. Just don't forget, because it's embarrassing when I do. And sometimes I do. If I tell myself to leave these open so I can attach them to the other ones, I won't forget in my zeal to get finished. But if you see me getting ready to wrap it, just yell at the screen and maybe I'll hear you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this around the stem one time, two times, and cut that off. It's really sort of like 2.5 times around, because by the time I cut it off, that's another half turn, but I wrap it twice and then that little tail goes back in the back. So it actually comes out to about 2.5 times when I do the two. Nice. Okay, and then the next two colors are the orange next to the yellow and the red. Okay. Spin that back. Slide that wire down about a third of the way. Take it over the top and down the side and make my little loop. And what is that you said? What is that? Do I hear yelling? Oh, that's right. I have to connect it to the other links. Thank you. Okay, slide that down in there and wrap that closed. Wow, you guys saved my bacon. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I feel like Tinkerbell when everybody was clapping for her. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Peter Pan, which is my absolute 100% favorite fairy tale of all time. Okay, let's clip off. Got a little far afield, right? I have to do something to entertain myself when I'm doing this. Otherwise, it would just be me making things. You would be bored. At least I think you would. All right, let's push that little tip down. Let me get it as close as I can get to the bare wire and as close as I can get to the other wrap. Let me put that down there. There we go. Now, last but not least, what do I have? I have orange and red. And my wire. And wrap it closed, just like all of the other times. And I'm going to be attaching this to an ear wire, so I can close this one up because I'm going to be using the ear wire will be open. So I'll be able to attach it that way. I don't need to worry about not wrapping this right now because I'll have an open loop to attach it to. All right. Snip that off. Just that little tip down. And there we go. And there we have it. There's my little chain. Now, what I want to do, because I have this loop on the bottom, is I'm going to put a little charm on the bottom. You don't have to do that. I'm going to do that because I have these cute little book charms and I want to use them. So I'm going to attach it with a jump ring. So now the proper way to open your jump ring, demonstrated this a lot, and I still see people doing it wrong. It drives me nuts. So I take one plier and put it on one side of the opening, which is right here. Then I take I have that plier. This is the way I do it. I have this plier facing horizontal to the opening. Then the other plier I have vertical to the opening. So here's my little opening. There's my one plier. Here's the other plier, and I just twist it open. Easy peasy. There we go. Nicely open. And then I'm going to grab my charm, put that on. Get in there. And then I'm going to put my chain link on, and I'm going to close it up. Let's close that right up. There we go. And there's my link, my little earring link chain. My little dangle earring, yay! Now all I need is an ear wire, and I have another piece of scrap wire. Now for this, all I need is 2 inches, because I'm just going to make a nice little loop. I'm going to go about a third of the way down my pliers just to keep it consistent with the other loops. I'm going to roll it, and I'm using the tip this time. I'm going on the tip of my wire instead of bending it back, because I just want my loop to be right here on the tip. I'm going to roll until I have a loop. Now I think I was off camera, so I'm just going to do that again. And cut this off. Okay. Let's do that again. Plus this thing is fighting me to focus. Let's see if we can get that to work. Here we go. So I'm going to grab my round nose pliers. I'm going to slide my wire down a third of the way down my pliers. I want to make sure that the tip is not sticking out in the back here. So I run my finger across it. If I can't feel it, I'm good. So I'm going to go rotate my plier hand, holding the wire in place until I have come on, focus, focus. There, until I have a loop. That little tip should just back up against the rest of the wire. There we go. Hi there. I'm not done. Okay. And then you can take a pen. You can use the back of your pliers. It depends on how big you want your little opening to be for your ear wire, for the part that goes in your ear. And you can just put that right here at the bottom of the loop on the back side, just like so. And just bring that, let's hold that in place, and just wrap that wire over the top until the long wire touches the ring, just like that. And then all I need to do is shape it. Let's give it a little shape, a little gentle curve. I'm going to snip off what I don't need. Doesn't need to be that long. A little. There we go. Put a little ledge on it, as a friend of mine calls it. And there's my ear wire. Okay, let's attach that to my earring. And this is why I said you can go ahead and close up that top loop, because I can open the ear wire and put it on there. I want that in the back because my little book charm is one way. So I want my hook going down the back. Close that back up. There we go. Here's my earring. Awesome. Here's the other one. Let me go ahead and pull that up here. Come on, flip around. I read a book just doesn't want to flip. There we go. So those are there's my one pair of earrings, my first pair. Isn't that cute? And anybody can wear these, I think. That's number one. Now the second one, I'm going to just do a little spiral because I just thought that would be fun. So for that, I need 6 inches of 22 gauge wire, and I'm going to put a little spiral on the bottom, just like that. Here we go. Yeah. So I'm going to put a little spiral on the bottom. So I've got 6 inches of wire, and I'm going to take my round nose pliers, and right here on the tip, I'm going to grab the tip of my wire, and I'm going to make a small loop, just a little tiny loop, just like so. So there's my little loop. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to wrap the wire around itself. So I'm giving myself a little spiral. You can see where that's starting to wrap around itself right next to the wires right next to each other. Come on. Why is this being so? I don't, what a pain. So kiss for heaven's sake. Maybe I'm too close. That's it. All right. Okay, so I'm just wrapping the wire around itself, just like that. You can see the wires are side by side. So now I'm going to switch to my square pliers, and I'm going to continue that spiral. Just a nice little spiral. How many did I do on this one? 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I'm just going to do 3 complete wraps around. That is 2. Keep going until I have 3 wraps. And I'm counting it from the tip. 1, 2, let's go one more, 3/4 of the way around. And there. So there's my little tip. 1, 2, 3 wraps. Nice. So there are my little wraps. So now what I'm going to do is bring it until it's straight up. I'm just bending that wire until my spiral is right in the center of my wire, like that. Yeah. Now I'm going to put some beads on. And for this one, I'm going to put 3 of each color. So I'm going to start with my purple, 3 of those, and 3 blue. Come back here. Oh, for heaven's sake. In the interest of time, I'm just going to go ahead and load this up off camera, and I'll be back, and it'll be all ready to go. Those look all the same color, don't they? But they're not. This is purple and blue. 3 purple on the bottom, 3 blue next to it. I'm going to put the rest of them on, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got everything on here now. I said 6 inches of wire, and it actually only takes about 5 if you're using seed beads, because I've got a good 2¼ inches of wire here left, and I don't think I'm going to use more than 1, so I'm thinking it's only taking about 5. Yep, I've got 2½ inches of wire left. It's going to take me another inch to wrap this, so it's really only going to take about 5 inches, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and make my loop at the top. So I bend my wire back, leaving a little tiny bit of space there for wrapping purposes, slide my wire in between the prongs of the pliers, and down about a third of the way from the tip. I'm just going with a third of the way because I've been doing that for all the rest of them. That gives me a little consistency and I don't have to think about something different every time. Bring that wire over the top and down the side where your beads are till you can't go any further. And then move your pliers out of the way because I'm going to bring that up under and I don't want to have to fight. So I'm going to hold everything in place, open my pliers up, reposition them out of the way, and bring that wire in between the beads and the pliers until I have a nice little loop there. Yeah, now I'm going to wrap it closed, just like I did all the other times. And I just wrap it until I fill in all of the space. Here we go. Snip off that tail. That might be enough that I can use it for something, so I won't consider it a waste. That's good. And then push that little tip down. Try to push that little end down in between the bead, the top bead, and coil that I've just done on top here. Sometimes going behind it and following is easier than trying to do it from the tip in the front. Get down there. There. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, so now I'm going to coil it. And for that, you can use anything. You can use just a little knitting needle. You can wrap it around an ink pen, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wrap it around the little tip of this guy right here. I'm just making a little coil. It just depends on how big you want your coil to be, what you want it to look like. Just take the end of it, holding on to my little spiral, and I'm going to wrap it around in a little coil. Get around there. There we go. Just wrap it around. You can wrap it around a pencil. There we go. I'm going to coax that little end around the rest of the way until I have a little spiral. And then just manipulate it until it looks the way you want. I'm just going to pull it apart like so. There we go. And then the top here, I want to be sticking straight up so I can put it in my ear wire. So I'm going to twist that until it's up like that. And the bottom, I want that to be straight down. So I'm going to push that, just twist that down like so. And there's your little spiral. And you can twist it a little closer together. You can make it wider apart. It just depends on the look that you want. But there is my little spiral. I'm not finished. Still at it. Just manipulate it with your fingers until you get the look that you want. There we go. All I need now is to put it on a little ear wire. Already shown you how to do that. Open that up, slide it on, close that back up, and then adjust it until it looks the way you want. The spiral. Okay, there. I want that to show like so. And there it is. There's my little earring. Isn't it? Isn't that cute? Now this isn't going to lay right because of the way it's shaped. Kind of hard to show them on the mat. But there we go. There's my little earring. Come on. There it is. Yeah, nice. Okay, that's earring number two. Let's go on and make a third one. For this one, I'm going to make it very simple. I'm just going to take a length of wire. In this case, it's going to take maybe 2.5 inches. And I'm going to make a little decorative pin for the bottom of it. I'm going to make a little infinity decoration. So what I'm going to do is right here on the tip, it doesn't have to be very big, about 1/16 of an inch away from the tip. I'm going to slide my wire in between the prongs of the pliers, make sure nothing's sticking out the back, and I'm going to make a little loop. Just twist that until the tip bumps up against the rest of the wire. And I have a loop. There we go. Nice. And then I'm going to go right here beside this loop. Again, right here at the tip, about 1/16 of an inch away. And I'm going to make another loop right beside it. So I'm going to rotate that till I have the loop. And there. There's my little infinity. I can see one of these is a little bit bigger than the other. So I'm going to open this one up and make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Flatten that out. And there's my little infinity pin. Get it all straightened out so it looks the way I want it to look. Make sure my wire is straight. There we go. There's my little infinity. Then I'm just going to put one set of beads on, one of each color until I have my little rainbow. So I'm going to start with the purple again. Go to the blue and the green, the yellow, orange, and the red. There's my little pin, and I'm going to wrap it. Give myself a sliver of wire at the top here. Grab my round nose pliers, make a loop like I've been doing all along. I'm not talking you through it because we've already done this like 3 times. Let's wrap that around. Cut off the extra wire. Remember I said just cut a length of wire? This was started out as 11 inches. Look at how much I have left. Now granted, I used that little piece of wire that I had before for the first one, but this does not take much wire at all. Okay, push that down. Earrings are so much fun to make with limited materials. Okay, there we go. And there's my little thing. Now I could just do that, but why not do 3 dangles? 3 dangles would be really neat. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to make a special ear wire to go with that because that's a lot of little rings to go on a regular ear wire. So I'm going to make a special one for that. So for that, I'm going to need about 1, 2.5. 3 inches of wire, and I have this long length here. So I'm just going to use it as is. And what I need for that is to start it like I did the other ear wire, just right here at the tip, maybe a 1/4 of an inch from the tip. I don't need too big a loop. Just make a little loop, just like I've been doing all along with the ones that start right at the tip. Got my little loop there. Okay, and then I'm going to take my round nose pliers right here under the loop. I'm going to slide my wire down to about 3/4 of the way down my pliers, just like that, 3/4. Then I'm going to bring the wire over the top. Here's the direction my loop is going. I'm going to bring my wire over the top in the opposite direction and let the wire touch the loop, just like that. Okay. So that's what I have so far. And then I'm going to switch to my little ink pen. That's what I have. Then I'm going to switch to my little ink pen, and right here, right just at the bottom of my loop, I'm going to put that on the pen. Let me get this little kink out of here. Straighten that out. There we go. I'm going to put that on the pen just at the bottom of my loop, on the back of where all of the action is. And I'm going to wrap that tailed wire around the ink pen. Let's wrap that around. If I can get it to cooperate. Wrap it around until the tail touches the big loop back here. There we go. It was not cooperating. There we go. And now I'm going to shape it just like I did the other ear wire. Just give it some shape. And now I'm going to cut it off just about, a 1/4 of an inch away from the bottom of where this loop is. Or maybe 3/8 of an inch away from the bottom. If I need to take some more of it off later, I will. So there we go. Here's my little ear wire. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it down a little bit more. It doesn't need to be that long. There we go. And of course, somebody calls me while I'm working. And then take my round nose pliers right here at the tip and put a little ledge on there, just like I did with the other one. Let's curve that a little bit more. And there is my fancy schmancy ear wire. Let's get that fixed so it's a little smoother. There we go. There's my little ear wire. Yeah. And now I can take these little guys and slide them over the long tail and down inside the little well. So just bring them up, over, and let them drop right down in there. This is interchangeable. You can do lots of little dangles that you can put on this ear wire. You can use it for a lot of different things, but there is my earring. Ta-da! Isn't that neat? I need to put it on something. Do I have one of those little ears down here? Probably, but people hate those ears. They say they freak them out. So I'm going to put it on an ear. Can you see that? Yeah, there it is. Yes. So there are my 3 pairs of earrings, but I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus. Remember how we made this one? Now, I thought we would do the same thing, except make a different link for each bead instead of doubling up on the beads, just for fun. And then remember how we made our little infinity? We're going to make a trefoil ear wire. So we're going to it's going to look like sort of like an infinity with an extra loop on it. And I'll show you what I mean. For that, again, I need about 3.5 inches of wire. I'm going to finish off what's left of this one. It's about 6 inches. So I'm going to finish this off. Get some little kinks out. So what I need to do is go here to the tip of my wire, just like I did with my infinity, right here at the tip, maybe a 1/16 of an inch away from the tip of my wire. Make sure that the tip of my, away from the tip of my pliers, sorry. Make sure the tip of my wire is not sticking out the back of my pliers. And then I'm going to rotate until I have a little loop, just like I did with my infinity. So there's my little loop. The little tip backs right up against the rest of the wire. Then I'm going to go in behind it, right under the tip of my loop. Again, about 1/16 of an inch away from the tip. And I'm going to bring this wire so am I going to bring it over or am I going to bring it under? Let me think. Let me look at my other one. Under. Okay, so I've got my little loop. It's going down. I'm going to bring this wire around in the same direction, like so. So I've got that now. Let's open that up a little bit. So there are my two little loops side by side. And then I'm going to make another loop on top so I have a triple. So right here at the top of the two loops, I'm going to put my pliers and I'm going to make another loop around the pliers, like so. Until I have what looks like a little 3-leaf clover. There we go. Little trefoil. Okay. And my wire should be straight up like that. And there we go. And now what am I going to do with that? I'm going to make an ear wire out of it. So for the rest of that, I'm going to, this part of it is going to take about 1.5 inches in case you want to just cut it off. The whole thing takes about 3.5 inches. And again, I'm going to grab my little pliers. This has an actual front and a back. You can see where I wrapped that last wire up. That's the back. This is the front. I'm going to wrap this around, put it right here on the front of my pin, my little decorative part. And then I'm going to take the long stem of wire and wrap it down the back of my ink pen, like so, until the wire touches my little decorative part, just like that. And then I'm going to make my little shaped wire here, just like I did with the other. Give it a little curve. I'm going to cut that off. I have a little bit of a sharp edge here. Straighten that out. Here we go. I'm going to cut that off, and it depends on how long you want it to be. I cut it about half an inch away from whatever the bottom is. Here's the bottom. Cut that off. Put my little ledge in. It's just a little bend, a slight bend, like so. Put back in there and get a little better shape. There we go. And there's my little ear wire. Neat, huh? So now what are we going to do? I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to attach it on both sides of my little trefoil. Let me see. Stand up. It's not going to stand up. I'll just show you when it's finished. So what I'm going to do is put in a jump ring on one side and on the other side and attach it to each one of these side loops. So I'm going to grab a couple of jump rings. They're already open. I showed you how to do that already. So this is my bonus pair. Slide my little jump ring in over, or should I say, slide the closed ring of the last link inside the jump ring, and then slide that side loop inside the jump ring and close everything up. And you can use 2 pliers to do that, or you can use 1 finger and a pair of pliers to do that, but you just want to twist it until it's closed, just like that. And then I'm going to attach it on the other side, same way. Slide that last link in the jump ring and the other link on the other side into the jump ring and close the jump ring. Here we go. Check and make sure that's nicely closed. Yes, it is. And come on. There we go. There's my little earring. Nice. Now, if you want to do a little extra kick, make another one of these guys. Boom, and hang it from the center loop. Let's do it. Grab a jump ring. Open that up. Slide that closed ring inside the jump ring and slide that jump ring inside that center loop here. Close it up. There we go. And there's my earring. I love it. Isn't that neat? See if I can hang it on something so you can get a good look. Here we go. There's my earring. Now I'm going to hang this on something because it's kind of hard to see these this way. And I will show you all of the earrings that we have done today. Okay, there they are. There are my earrings. 4 pair, 4 for the price of 1. But I think these will be a lot of fun for everybody to make. Again, you can use any color and type of beads that you want to make these, but this is several different styles that you can use and have a lot of fun with, I think. So that is our program for today. I hope you enjoyed making these rainbow colored earrings in honor of Pride Month. And I hope that you will take advantage of um, using these little seed beads or whatever beads you want to use and make one, two, three, or all four of these because these are so much fun. So get in touch with me and let me know what you thought of this little project. I enjoyed it. I think I wanted something that everybody could do, kids, adults alike, and make it your own. So let me know what you think. Let me know what you thought. Whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, I would love to hear from you. So if you can just get in touch with me at jewelrygen20@gmail.com. That's JEWELRYGIN20 at gmail.com. And send me pictures, comments, whatever you would like to send to the email address. I would love to hear from you. I get so excited whenever I get an email from one of you guys. And you can also leave comments at the library Facebook page. That's facebook.com/DeKalb library. That's J. Where did J come from? DEKALB library. Facebook.com/DeKalb library. Or you can also leave pictures there. I would love it if you would do that. Or you can leave just comments at the library YouTube page, which is youtube.com/DeKalb County Public Library. You do have to write out that whole thing because there's another DeKalb library in Illinois, I think, and it's not this one. So youtube.com/DeKalb County Public Library. Again, DeKalb is spelled DEKALB. Let me know where you're from too. I just got a little hi from Ireland and I just love it. Let me know where you're from, what you think, what you liked, what you didn't like, what I can do to improve, or what you would like to see me make next, because I would love your input. In the meantime, hope you have a great week and a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.